buttercreams. Everybody loves them. We're gonna show you how to make 2 types of buttercream. I'm gonna give you all the nostalgia without all of that sugar rush. I have to actually use a little bit of vinegar to degrease my bowl, my whisk, and my pan. You're gonna make sure that there is no fat whatsoever in the vessels that you're cooking with. So let's take a little bit of vinegar and a paper towel, and don't worry, it's not gonna taste vinegary at all. It's gonna evaporate, nice and clean. Now we're gonna do this to our whisk, making sure that you get every single little nook and cranny. And now, our bowl. We want our egg whites to whip up to the fluffiest amount possible. All right, let's get to it. So the first step of making your Italian buttercream is making your sugar syrup. Let's grab our sugar and our water. Now we're gonna take our egg whites and we're gonna put our egg whites with a little bit of citric acid in the bowl. Citric acid not only adds a little bit of acidity and a little bit of nuance, but it also makes sure that your egg whites get to the highest of heights. And if you don't have citric acid, cream of tartar works just fine. I'm gonna turn on my induction burner and I'm gonna turn on my mixer. As you can already see, we are getting so many deliciously frothy bubbles in our egg whites. So now, as you can see, our syrup is coming to a rolling boil. I do see a little bit of crystallization in the bottom of my pan. We can eliminate any crystallization with our water and our pastry brush. I do this with water because if I just stir these uncooked sugar crystals, it spreads and it turns into this like weird block of alien sugar. Ew. So I'm gonna take my thermometer and I'm gonna temp this out because I wanna make sure that I'm not overcooking my syrup. I like to tilt my pan because I wanna make sure that I'm getting the most accurate read. Making sure that you're bringing it back up to 239, up to 244. That's the max that you can go. We have our sugar syrup. So now we're gonna make sure that we have our mixer on low speed and we're gonna pour this guy in very carefully and very slowly. We lost a little bit there. R.I.P. sugar syrup. I don't know how many of you guys have torches at home, but if you do have one, you can do this neat trick to get all of that syrup down the side of your bowl. And as you can see, some of those little strands of sugar are going down the bowl now, and eventually they'll get incorporated into your meringue. So let's kick this up into high gear. You might not be able to hear me for a while, so I guess we could just awkward dance together. I'm gonna show you how this meringue looks. We have stiff peaks and it's super shiny and glossy. Let's start incorporating our butter. We have our softened butter here. We're gonna start it off a little slow. We add a little bit at a time. And don't be alarmed. It is gonna get really weird before it gets really cool. So if you see it turn into like watery, like weirdness, keep whisking. Even when you think all hope is lost, keep going. All right, let's go. So our buttercream looks super good right now. It's like super silky. I know that it tastes like heaven. Let us talk about our flavoring. So I like to use a little bit of salt. I think that adding salt to your buttercream really balances out those flavors and gives it that like luxurious mouthfeel. We're just gonna make sure that we sprinkle it evenly so that there's not just one pocket of salt. We're gonna use a little bit of vanilla bean paste, and that'll give it nice, beautiful freckles in the buttercream. So we're gonna add it to our bowl. Now we're gonna return it to the mixer. So there you have it, folks. You've now made perfectly beautiful Italian buttercream. So American buttercream is that iconic cake that you have for your birthdays. It just tastes amazing. But we're not dealing with hot sugar, we're dealing with powdered sugar. Unlike Italian buttercream, we're not incorporating as much air with our powdered sugar and our butter. We actually want to smooth it out and really get a dense, compact buttercream. We're gonna attach our paddle, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our softened butter, our shortening. I like to give this a little bit of a mix to incorporate our shortening and our butter first before I add my powdered sugar. We're gonna scrape down our bowl, and now we're gonna add our powdered sugar. If you were to turn on your mixer right now, all of your powdered sugar will go all over the place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a stop and go method. We're gonna go, and this kind of helps your powdered sugar to not go all over the place. And typically once I see that large clumps form, I just let my mixer do all the hard work. So now that I've incorporated a little more air, I want to add my salt and my vanilla extract. Give this a mix again. So I am gonna add a little bit of milk, but not too much, just like a dash. Was that a dash? I think so. Now is a good time to add any flavorings. If you really want to take this into like fruit flavoring, make sure that you're using something that is freeze-dried or a powder, because if you add something with a lot of moisture, that emulsion is gonna break and it's gonna be really difficult to bring it back together. Same thing for the food coloring. I recommend that you use powder instead of liquid, but if you must, just keep whisking it. Let's check it. Oh yeah, see how beautiful this is? If I wanted to frost my cake right now, it would be so easy to frost. It's just like super smooth. All right, let's get to decorating. As you can see, I have a lot of cake in front of me. So let's get our piping bag, and I have it in a jam jar. I already have a tip in it. And what I like to do is I like to twist it and lock it so that that buttercream doesn't come flying out. We're gonna place it down, make sure that I have enough space to put my buttercream, and then I'm gonna just plop it down in there. And I like to be really intentional so that I don't make air pockets or bubbles in this piping bag. You just kind of like find those little air pockets and push them out. We're going to start, and I'm just gonna make a little pipe shell border. And to make it easier, I just kind of turn it so that I can see exactly what I'm doing instead of being like, ah. And the cool thing about this frosting, and even the Italian buttercream, you can practice off of your cake on a piece of parchment paper until you feel really confident, and then put it on your cake. So here I have my Italian buttercream. Look at this. Wow. I mean, if you want to frost cakes, this is your gal. Before I frost my cake, I have to do a crumb coat. We're gonna grab a nice scoop and we're gonna plop it on top. And what I like to do is flick my wrist a little bit so that I'm spreading the buttercream without lifting it and getting all those crumbs in the cake. So in this layer, I'm gonna make sure that it's not too much, right? I'm not trying to frost the cake. And we're gonna go in and just push all of that excess buttercream down our cake. And this layer doesn't have to be perfect because it's just trying to trap all those pesky little crumbs. Using an offset spatula, you're going to kind of keep it at an angle, and you're gonna start off of the cake, and then we're gonna go in and just drag it. Wow. And there you have it. Now we're gonna pop this guy in the fridge, and we're gonna come back and decorate it. What we're going to do now, we're going to go in and make little dots. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be fun. And now you have cute little dots. All right, so now we're gonna decorate the top, and we're gonna go in. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of like giving it like almost like a worm squeeze as I pull up. We're gonna grab some star sprinkles. So cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And we're gonna grab some nonpareils. we're just gonna go for it. I'm gonna throw some sprinkles on my cake. So this is just the beginning of buttercreams and frostings. If you wanna learn how to make more cool things and all things frosting, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna be here for a while, so I'll wait. Bye!